Hey everyone, it's Sky, and this is my rebuttal speech for SPC 2608, and I'm going to be arguing against the early marriage. I just wanted to start out with a little statistic from an article on Girls Not Brides, and it says that 15 million girls a year are married before the age of 18. So if you sit there and you do the math, that is about 28 girls a minute. And this is girls that are under the age of 18. Not women, but girls. That's a lot. So I'm going to talk about how early marriage is a violation of human rights, how it affects the education and health of girls. So I'm going to start with the violation of human rights, and I believe that it's a violation of human rights because it is basically a loss of choice over their bodies and their lives. So the girls no longer get to choose what they want to do with their life or with their body. So they don't get to choose if they want to be married. They're just getting married. Like, they don't have a choice. They're being married off before they are legally allowed to choose what they want to do with their lives. And their bodies, obviously, they're getting married and they're going to have kids. What if they don't want kids? It's not their choice anymore. They lose the freedom to choose what they want to do, and that is not right. Girls should be able to choose what they want to do with their lives and their bodies. Next, I'm going to talk about how it affects their education. So basically, when they get married young, say around the age of 13, obviously girls are still in school. Do you think they're still going to go to school after they get married? No, they're not. They're going to be forced to drop out of school, so they're not going to have education under their belt. They're not going to be able to finish their education, not high school, not college, nothing. Their education is going to be put on the back burner because they're going to be expected to become wives and mothers. And when they don't have education, they have worse economic outcomes than someone who does get to stay in school, because they have a better chance of getting a job and a better chance of being able to provide for their family than girls who don't get to finish school because they are being forced to be married before the age of 18. And finally, I'm going to talk about how it affects the health of girls. So, girls who are under the age of 18 are not physically or mentally ready to be mothers or wives. Their bodies are not done forming. Their brain is definitely not done forming, and they just aren't ready to assume that kind of responsibility. They can't. Like, they are not ready. They're teenagers. They're still supposed to be having fun and having like the time of their lives. That's supposed to be the best time of their lives, not becoming a mother and a wife. Like, they have to become so responsible for themselves and for the lives of others, like their husband and their children that they're going to be having. So according to UNICEF, maternal deaths for girls aged 15 to 19 accounts for about 70,000 deaths each year. That statistic right there shows that girls ages 15 to 19 are not physically ready to be mothers because their bodies are rejecting the fact that they're having babies and they're dying. The girls are dying giving birth to these children who, in the same article, it says that they are more likely to die before the age of 1 year old. So not only are the mothers dying, but the children are dying before they get to turn 1. And if they do live, they end up with like low weight births or congenital defects because the mother's body is not ready to sustain a child. It's just not a good thing, and I just don't understand why it's still a thing if the mothers and the babies are just going to end up dying. Like, it's awful. So I just wanted to conclude my article or my speech with a kind of a recap story from an article that I found on United Nations Human Rights, and it is a quote by a girl named Serena Sane, and she is age 13, and this is what she said to her father right before he told her that she didn't have a choice, she was getting married anyways. And it says, "When it came my time, I just asked my dad to please let me go one more day to school." That's all she wanted, one more day to school before she was stripped of her freedom to go and get an education. And I just feel as though early marriage is a denial of human rights, and it greatly affects the education and the health of women and not women, sorry, girls, and it should no longer be practiced. So thank you for listening.